The Wealth Blueprint. Build Fortune from Nothing by Imperium Audiobooks. Introduction. The Code of Wealth. They say money changes people. That's not true. Money reveals people. It reveals who you are when you no longer have to pretend. It magnifies your habits, your mindset, and your discipline. And that's why most people never build lasting wealth, because they chase money before mastering the mindset that creates it. But here's the truth. No one likes to talk about you don't need money to make money. You need clarity. You need hunger. You need alignment. Every great fortune in history started from nothing, from the garage, from the rented room, from the empty pockets of someone who refused to accept average as their final destination. And this audiobook is about exactly that. The blueprint of building wealth from nothing. Real, not luck, not overnight success, not fantasy, but principles that have been proven across time, psychology, and human nature. Let's be real for a second. The world is full of gurus selling dreams they've never lived. They tell you to visualize, to manifest, to just think positive. And yes, mindset matters. But mindset without movement is delusion. You can't manifest wealth while you're living in fear of failure. You can't attract abundance while your habits repel it. You can't pray for opportunity while ignoring the discipline that opportunity demands. The true wealth builders know this. Wealth isn't a goal, it's a consequence. It's the result of thinking differently, acting strategically, and persisting when others fold. This audiobook isn't just about money, it's about psychology. Because before you earn a fortune, you must earn the mindset that sustains it. It's about strategy. Because wealth isn't luck, it's architecture. And it's about identity. Because the richest people in the world don't think rich. They become rich long before the money arrives. If you strip away everything, your job, your savings, your network, what's left? Your mind. And if your mind is trained properly, that's all you'll ever need. Because wealth begins as a language, a code written in how you think, how you see opportunity, and how you respond under pressure. Let's talk facts. Most people are poor, not because of lack of opportunity, but because of lack of awareness. They're trapped in patterns, emotional spending, instant gratification, short-term thinking. They chase comfort instead of mastery. They trade time for money instead of building systems that multiply it. They look for validation instead of leverage. And every time they feel close to breakthrough, they sabotage it. Because the subconscious mind is loyal to familiarity, not success. That's why people stay broke. Not because they're lazy, but because they're programmed to repeat what feels safe. If you were raised around survival, your nervous system doesn't recognize abundance. It rejects it. It feels wrong to save. It feels unfair to win. It feels arrogant to believe you deserve more. So the first step of wealth isn't learning how to make money. It's learning how to believe differently. Once your belief system changes, your behaviors follow. And when your behaviors change, your results are inevitable. That's the essence of this book. We're not here to give you generic financial advice. We're here to give you a blueprint, a psychological and strategic framework that rewires your relationship with money, opportunity, and work. You'll learn how to think like a builder, not a beggar, how to multiply, not maintain, how to rise from zero with clarity, consistency, and conviction. Because wealth creation is not magic, it's math, mindset, and motion. Let's break this down. Math is your system, how you use, grow, and protect your money. Mindset is your philosophy, how you perceive risk, failure, and value. Motion is your execution, how fast and effectively you take aligned action. Miss one of these, and the whole structure collapses. Master all three, and you build a foundation that lasts generations. This isn't theory, It's the pattern behind every self-made millionaire and billionaire who started from nothing. They didn't win because of luck. They won because of design. Every chapter in this audiobook will take you deeper into that design. You'll learn how to rewire your mind for financial resilience, identify and build assets even when you have no capital, escape the paycheck trap and transition into ownership, build networks that open doors no degree ever could, and most importantly, cultivate the mindset that thrives under pressure, the kind that builds fortune when others panic. But before we begin, I need you to understand one truth. If you want to change your financial reality, you can't keep living like everyone else. You must become obsessed with growth, disciplined in your habits, fearless in your execution, patient in your results. This is not the path of comfort. It's the path of creation, and creation demands consistency. It demands that you act with faith before the evidence shows up, that you build systems before success is visible, that you think long-term when everyone else is chasing shortcuts. If you're willing to do that, to build not just wealth but wisdom, then this blueprint will change your life. Because the truth is you don't need to be born rich. Because the truth is you don't need to be born rich. You don't need luck, or connections, or timing. You just need the right blueprint, one that works with your psychology, your circumstances and your potential. That's what this audiobook is, not a motivational fantasy, a manual for creation. So take a deep breath. Forget what you've been taught about money. Let go of your limitations, because by the time you finish this journey, you'll never look at wealth or yourself the same way again. This is the wealth blueprint, and from this moment forward, you're no longer waiting for abundance, you're building it. Chapter 1. The Wealth Mind, Rewiring Your Psychology for Prosperity. If you want to change your financial reality, you must first change your mental one, because the truth is simple. Money follows mindset. Every dollar you earn, every opportunity you attract, every decision you make, all of it starts from the way you think. Most people believe wealth begins with information. It doesn't. It begins with identity. Two people can read the same book, hear the same advice, even start with the same amount of money, and yet one will multiply it while the other loses it. Why? Because they see money differently. The wealthy don't just think about money, they understand its psychology. They know that money isn't paper, it's energy. It flows toward clarity, purpose, and structure. And the poor, they think emotionally. They chase it, fear it, idolize it, or resent it, but rarely master it. That's why wealth creation starts with mental reprogramming. If you were raised hearing things like, money doesn't grow on trees, we can't afford that, or rich people are greedy, then your subconscious has been wired to push money away, even when you consciously want it. You see, the human brain is designed for survival, not success. It's built to repeat what's familiar, not what's profitable. So when you start doing something new, saving, investing, building, your subconscious gets nervous. It starts whispering fear-based thoughts. What if you fail? What if it's too late? What if you lose everything? That's not intuition. That's old programming, trying to keep you safe. To build wealth, you must upgrade your mental software. Step 1, awareness. You can't rewire what you don't recognize. Pay attention to how you react to money. Do you tense up when you spend? Do you feel guilt when you earn? Do you secretly believe you don't deserve abundance? Every emotional reaction is a window into your financial conditioning. Step 2, disruption. You must interrupt the thought patterns that limit you. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't afford this, replace it with, how can I create the value to afford this? That single shift from limitation to creation is how the wealthy think. They don't avoid problems. They monetize solutions. They don't fear risk. They study and manage it. They don't say, I don't have enough. They say, I haven't built it yet. It's a completely different operating system. Step 3. Alignment. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions must speak the same language. You can't think rich but act poor. You can't say you want freedom while living in fear of judgment. You can't attract abundance while embodying scarcity. Wealth flows where confidence grows, and confidence isn't arrogance, it's certainty. The certainty that your effort will produce results, even if those results take time. Now let's get practical. The wealthy have one habit most people ignore. They think long-term. They're not seduced by instant gratification. They're focused on legacy. While most people spend to look rich, the wealthy invest to stay rich. They understand that every dollar has a job. It's either working for you or working against you. When you spend impulsively, your money becomes an employee of someone else's dream. When you invest intentionally, it becomes an employee of yours. So how do you train your mind to think like that? You must replace emotional spending with strategic spending. Never buy something for validation. Buy it for value. Ask yourself before every purchase, does this bring me closer to freedom or further from it? Freedom is the real wealth. It's not just about money. It's about options. The ability to wake up and choose how to spend your time, your energy, your attention. And that kind of freedom only comes to those who master themselves. Here's the paradox. Building wealth isn't about money. It's about discipline, awareness, and belief. Discipline creates habits. Habits create results. Results create confidence. And confidence creates momentum. That's how you escape the cycle of struggle. Not overnight, but through conscious evolution. If you're broke, start with your behavior. If you're stuck, start with your belief. If you're lost, start with your environment. Because everything around you influences your wealth psychology, your friends, your conversations, your habits, your content. You can't expect a millionaire mindset while surrounding yourself with mediocrity. So audit your circle. Who are you listening to? Who are you learning from? Who are you spending time with? Because proximity is power. If you spend time around people who normalize growth, you'll expand. If you spend time around people who normalize excuses, you'll shrink. It's not personal, it's energetic alignment. Now let's talk about something most people ignore: financial trauma. If you've ever experienced scarcity, debt, or financial failure, it leaves an emotional imprint. That imprint becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You might earn more, but still feel broke. You might save money, but can't enjoy it. You might succeed, but sabotage it. Healing your relationship with money means forgiving your past. You did the best you could with what you knew then. Now you know better, so you can do better. That's the power of awareness. When you see money, not as survival, but as a tool, you stop reacting and start creating. You realize that wealth isn't about having more, it's about becoming more. More focused, more disciplined, more valuable. Because money always follows value. When you increase your ability to solve problems, to lead, to create impact, wealth becomes the natural byproduct. The poor ask, what can I get? The rich ask, what can I give that's worth getting paid for? That shift in focus is everything. It's the foundation of the wealth blueprint. Because real prosperity isn't found in numbers. It's found in alignment. The alignment between your vision, your mindset, your habits, and your mission. When those four connect, fortune becomes inevitable. So from this chapter forward, I want you to stop thinking of wealth as something out there. It's not in a paycheck. It's not in a business. It's not in a bank. It's in you. Your ability to think differently, your willingness to act boldly, your commitment to stay consistent when results are slow. That's the mind of a builder. That's the psychology of prosperity. And once you master it, truly master it, you'll never fear starting from zero again. Because the wealth is no longer something you chase. It's something you are. Chapter 2. Turning Ideas into Income. The Formula for Creation. Every great fortune starts the same way, not with money, but with an idea. The most powerful currency in the world isn't gold, or crypto, or real estate. It's creative thought. Ideas are infinite. Money is not. And yet the average person spends more time worrying about the lack of money than training their mind to create value. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't need capital to start. You need clarity. Because once your vision is clear, resources begin to move toward it. Look at history. Every billionaire, every self-made success story, every empire started with a single concept, a spark that refused to die. But while everyone dreams, very few build. Why? Because most people don't understand the difference between inspiration and execution. Inspiration gives you energy. Execution gives you results. You can't deposit motivation into a bank account. You can't pay rent with good ideas. You have to translate inspiration into action. So, let's break down the formula for turning ideas into income. 1. Clarity of vision. If you don't know what you want, you'll never know what to build. Your idea must solve a problem, not just please your ego. Every profitable idea exists because it reduces pain or increases pleasure. That's it. Every industry, every business model, every product follows that rule. So before you design, build, or promote anything, ask yourself, what pain am I solving, and for who? The clearer the pain, the higher the profit. Most creators fail because they build for themselves, not for a market. They create what they like, not what people need. The wealthy reverse engineer. They listen to complaints, frustrations, and inefficiencies, then design elegant solutions. That's how value is born. 2. Simplicity of execution. The best ideas are usually the simplest. Not because the wealthy lack creativity, but because they understand leverage. Complexity kills momentum. The more moving parts an idea has, the harder it becomes to sustain. If you can't explain your idea in one sentence, it's not clear enough, because clarity sells. Confusion doesn't. Think of Uber, tap a button, get a ride. Think of Airbnb, rent your home to travelers. Think of YouTube, upload videos and share them with the world. Each idea is simple, but executed with ruthless precision. So don't wait for perfect conditions. Start small, launch fast, and refine later. The market rewards speed and adjustment, not perfection and hesitation. 3. The power of value exchange. Money is nothing more than a symbol of value transfer. If you want more money, you must create more value for more people. It's that simple. But simplicity scares people, because value requires effort. It demands that you study your craft, understand your customer, and deliver with consistency. The wealthy think in systems. They build models that multiply value without multiplying their workload. They automate, delegate, and innovate, so they can scale impact without burning out. If you want to create income, start by mapping your value chain. What do you know? Who needs it? And how can you deliver it in a way that saves them time, money, or energy? Every income stream you'll ever build will live somewhere within those 3 questions. 4. Obsession with mastery. People don't pay for average. They pay for excellence. The wealthy understand this truth better than anyone. When you're exceptional at something, money chases you. When you're average, you have to chase it. And the difference isn't talent, it's focus. Most people are distracted by comparison. They want to learn 10 skills, start 5 businesses, and juggle 20 dreams. But wealth loves mastery. It rewards those who dig deep, not those who skim wide. If you can become so good that they can't ignore you, your income becomes inevitable. So pick your lane, sharpen your sword, and go all in. Not halfway, not sometimes, completely. Because when you master your craft, opportunity finds you. You don't have to knock. It opens the door. 5. Monetization through structure. Now let's talk mechanics. An idea is worthless until it's structured. Structure gives your creativity direction. It's how you turn something you love into something that pays. There are only 3 ways to monetize an idea: products, physical or digital; services, skills or expertise; content, influence or information. Everything fits into those 3. If you're starting from nothing, choose one lane and build from there. Don't try to build all at once. Master one, then expand. Start small, systemize, then scale. You can create an ebook, a course, a consulting service, a product brand, or a YouTube channel. The format doesn't matter. The value does. The goal is to make sure your idea produces income even when you're not present. That's how you build leverage. The moment your time stops equaling your money, you begin your journey to freedom. 6. Belief and boldness. Finally, the most important ingredient: belief. Every great creator, every wealthy individual, every empire builder began with nothing but conviction. They believed in their idea long before anyone else did. Because belief precedes manifestation, you'll never execute what you don't believe you can achieve. And here's the paradox: the world only believes in you after you prove it. So you must believe first, without evidence, without applause, without validation. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Most people wait to feel ready. The rich act until they become ready. They understand that courage doesn't mean absence of fear. It means action despite it. If you can move forward even when uncertain, you've already won half the battle. Turning ideas into income isn't magic. It's a process, one built on clarity, simplicity, value, mastery, structure, and belief. If you master these 6 elements, you'll never be broke again, not because of what you have, but because of what you can create. The poor look for opportunity. The wealthy build it. That's your blueprint. And once you realize that your ideas are your real capital, you'll stop waiting for permission and start printing possibilities. Because the wealthiest people in history didn't start with wealth. They started with imagination, work ethic, and relentless faith in their ability to create. You can too. So stop treating your ideas like dreams. Treat them like assets. Every idea you don't act on becomes someone else's success story. The question is, will you keep watching others build, or will you finally build your own empire from nothing? Chapter 3. The Law of Momentum. How to multiply what you start. Momentum is wealth's most underestimated law. Everyone wants progress, but few understand what actually sustains it. Success doesn't belong to the fastest or the smartest. It belongs to those who keep moving when others stop. Because once momentum is built, it carries you further than motivation ever could. The truth is, most people fail not because they don't start, but because they can't stay consistent long enough to see the results. They start strong, but fade when the excitement wears off. But here's the secret. Momentum is not motivation, it's movement. It's what happens when daily discipline compounds into unstoppable energy. Let's break down how to build it, keep it, and multiply it. 1. Understand the power of compounding action. We often hear about compound interest, how small amounts of money grow exponentially over time. But few realize that momentum compounds the same way. Every decision you make, every step you take, every small win builds on the last. When you repeat those actions long enough, they begin to create their own gravity, pulling bigger opportunities, better people, and stronger confidence toward you. The reason this matters is simple. You don't need to make massive moves every day. You just need to make aligned ones. If you wrote 1 page a day, in a year you'd have a book. If you saved a small percentage of every payment, in a few years you'd have capital. If you posted 1 piece of valuable content a day, in a year you'd have authority. Small efforts, multiplied by time, create massive impact. That's how momentum works. Slowly at first, then all at once. But if you break the chain, if you keep starting and stopping, you destroy compounding before it even begins. And each restart becomes harder than the last, because you lose not just time but trust in yourself. That's why wealth builders don't chase perfection, they chase consistency. 2. The discipline loop. Momentum isn't luck, it's a system. The wealthiest people build discipline loops that keep them moving, even on bad days. Here's how it works. Action resulter motivation action. Loop. When you act, even when you don't feel like it, you produce small results. Those results feed your confidence. That confidence renews your motivation, and that motivation fuels more action. Unless a cycle, and every completed loop strengthens it. The poor mindset reverses this. They wait to feel motivated before acting, but feelings are unreliable. The wealthy act first, knowing that emotion follows motion. If you can train yourself to move regardless of mood, you become unstoppable. It's not about doing massive things, it's about doing small things without pause. Think of it like pushing a car. At first it's heavy and unmoving, but once it starts rolling, you barely need force, just guidance. That's momentum. 3. Focus creates flow. Momentum thrives on focus. Without direction, energy disperses. The wealthy understand this. Your energy is a currency. Spend it with intention. Most people fail because they scatter their focus across too many things. 5 side hustles, endless ideas, constant changes. But divided effort produces divided results. If you want to multiply what you start, you must narrow your focus until your habits become automatic. One business, one mission, one measurable goal. Once that engine is running, then you can expand. The reason many people never gain traction is because they're always starting over. They're addicted to the thrill of new, instead of the discipline of follow-through. Focus doesn't restrict you, it builds capacity. It lets you go deeper, gain mastery, and unlock compounding results that dabblers never experience. When you stop switching directions, your momentum accelerates. 4. Momentum loves systems. Systems are the secret to sustained success. While motivation fades, systems remain. They remove friction, and friction is the enemy of momentum. If you're constantly relying on willpower, you'll burn out fast. But if you create systems, routines, automations, schedules, tracking, your consistency becomes effortless. Ask yourself, what part of my wealth journey can I systemize? If it's saving money, automate it. If it's content creation, batch it. If it's learning, schedule it. If it's outreach, template it. Every system you build frees up mental energy for creativity and expansion. That's how the wealthy multiply their time, not by working more, but by removing unnecessary decisions. The poor chase hacks. The rich build systems. 5. Energy management, not time management. Momentum dies when energy does. You can't multiply results if you're constantly drained, distracted, or uninspired. That's why real wealth isn't just financial, it's physical, mental and emotional. To sustain high output, you must protect your input. Sleep well, move daily, feed your mind with inspiration, not noise. Surround yourself with people who challenge, not drain you. The wealthiest individuals structure their days around energy peaks, not hours. They know when they're most creative, most analytical, most social, and align their activities accordingly. When you manage your energy, you double your output without doubling your time. That's how sustainable success is built, with balance, not burnout. 6. Learn to reinforce wins. Most people overlook one of the most powerful drivers of momentum, acknowledgement. Every time you achieve something, celebrate it consciously. Why? Because your brain needs evidence that effort equals reward. If you never reward progress, your subconscious starts believing effort is pointless. The wealthy know how to reinforce success. They document wins, track growth, reflect on lessons. They turn every victory, big or small, into fuel for the next step. You must build that same habit. Each win proves that what you're doing works, and that proof builds the emotional foundation to keep going when progress feels slow. Remember, momentum is emotional as much as mechanical. Protect it, feed it, celebrate it. 7. The compounding curve. Momentum doesn't feel like much in the beginning, and that's why most people quit too soon. In the first phase, effort outweighs results. You work hard, but the progress seems invisible. That's the grind zone, the place where everyone wants to give up. But if you stay consistent through that stage, something powerful happens. Results begin to compound. Opportunities start to appear. People begin to notice. Suddenly, what once took massive effort now feels natural. That's the curve of compounding. Slow, 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 then explosive. And if you can push through the slow part, you'll reach the point where momentum carries you forward effortlessly. That's when wealth starts to multiply itself. 8. Restart fast when you slip. Here's the truth. Everyone falls off. Everyone, even the disciplined, have bad days. The difference is how quickly they recover. The poor mindset lets guilt turn into paralysis. The wealthy mindset resets immediately. They don't shame themselves. They don't start over emotionally. They simply say, okay, I slipped. Now back to work. Momentum doesn't die from one bad day. It dies from delay. So, when you mess up, don't wait for motivation to return. Restart, recommit, rebuild. That's the real secret of longevity. 9. Leverage momentum across domains. Once you master momentum in one area, say, fitness or business, you can transfer it anywhere, because the same principles apply. Consistency, focus, systems, discipline. That's why the wealthy excel in multiple areas. They understand that success is a pattern, not a coincidence. You can apply momentum to relationships, learning, health, spirituality, every part of your life. And as you align them, each area reinforces the other. Momentum in one domain accelerates all others. Keep building, even when you don't see it. The final truth about momentum is patience. You must keep building, even when the world is silent, when no one claps, no one sees, no one believes, because momentum builds underground, before it appears above ground. Seeds grow roots before they sprout. If you're consistent, even invisible effort compounds, and one day, your results will appear overnight to everyone else. But you'll know the truth. You earned it, not through luck, but through momentum. So, keep moving, keep building, keep compounding, because once momentum becomes part of who you are, nothing and no one can stop you. Chapter 4. The Wealth Network. Building relationships that pay dividends. Wealth is rarely built alone. Behind every great success, you'll find a web of relationships, mentors, partners, investors, allies, and friends who shape the path. The self-made myth is romantic, but it's incomplete. No empire rises without an ecosystem. The truth is simple: money follows connection. And the richer your network, in quality not quantity, the faster your fortune grows. Let's be clear. A network isn't about collecting contacts or chasing clout. It's about building relationships that expand your thinking, open doors, and multiply your opportunities. The right network isn't measured by how many people you know. It's measured by how many people would move for you when it matters. So, how do you build one that pays dividends financially, mentally, and spiritually? 1. Redefine what networking means. Most people think networking means selling themselves. The wealthy know it means serving others. Instead of asking, "What can I get?" ask, "What can I give?" When you approach relationships with value first, people remember you differently. You stop being just another name and start being a resource. The wealthy understand this. The quickest way to rise is to make yourself useful to those already moving upward. Find ways to contribute: knowledge, skills, time, introductions. Even a thoughtful perspective can separate you from a crowd of takers. Real networking isn't transactional, it's transformational. 2. Build circles, not crowds. Crowds are noisy. Circles are powerful. A crowd gives you validation. A circle gives you growth. To build wealth, you need people who challenge your comfort zone, not those who applaud your stagnation. Audit your environment. Who do you spend time with? Do they stretch your thinking or shrink it? Do they talk about goals or gossip? Energy is contagious, so is mediocrity. If you want to upgrade your life, upgrade your circle. Your income, confidence and standards will rise to the level of the people you consistently surround yourself with. 3. The 33% rule. Divide your network into 3 layers. 33% above you, mentors, investors, achievers who pull you upward. 33% beside you, peers who challenge you, collaborate and keep you accountable. 33% below you, people you guide, teach and inspire. This structure keeps you balanced. The top third fuels your ambition. The middle third keeps you sharp. The lower third keeps you humble. If you only spend time with those beneath you, you'll stagnate. If you only chase those above you, you'll burn out, trying to impress. Real power comes from flow, learning, applying and teaching at once. That's how momentum and mentorship circulate wealth. 4. Learn the skill of social positioning. Networking isn't luck, it's architecture. Strategic people position themselves where opportunity lives. Attend events, conferences, online communities, or local groups where your industry's energy gathers. But don't just show up. Stand out. Speak with intention. Ask intelligent questions. Be genuinely curious about people's journeys. Most people network like salesmen. The wealthy network like students. They know curiosity earns access faster than ego. Your goal isn't to impress, but to connect. You'll never know who's watching. The quiet observer in the room may be your next investor, partner, or client. So show up prepared. Carry your vision clearly. People trust clarity more than charisma. 5. Give, without keeping score. The wealthiest individuals operate on the law of reciprocity. Give first. Trust that returns will come later. Introduce people who could help each other. Share information that adds value. Offer honest feedback that others avoid giving. Every act of generosity builds invisible equity. Most of the world operates on scarcity. If I give, I lose. But the wealthy think in abundance. If I give, I multiply. When people see that you give without hidden motives, you become magnetic. They want to bring you opportunities. The long game of networking is simple. Become the person others are grateful to know. 6. Protect your energy capital. Relationships can build you or drain you. That's why discernment is critical. Not every handshake deserves your time. Not every opportunity is meant for you. Some connections look profitable, but poison your peace. Guard your energy, like you guard your wallet. If someone constantly leaves you anxious, exhausted, or doubtful, that's not partnership, that's taxation. You can't build wealth in an environment of emotional bankruptcy. Surround yourself with people who push you toward your purpose, not those who pull you into their chaos. The wealth network is built on alignment, not attachment. 7. Leverage collaboration over competition. There's more money in collaboration than competition. The poor mindset sees others as rivals. The wealthy mindset sees them as multipliers. 2 aligned individuals can create 10 times more value than one solo hustler. That's the law of synergy. The whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. But collaboration works only when built on mutual respect and clear communication. Choose partners who share your values, not just your goals. A brilliant partnership without trust will collapse under pressure. When you find people who complement your weaknesses, protect those relationships. Treat them as sacred assets, because they are. 8. Network with integrity. Reputation is currency, and it compounds faster than cash. Every promise you keep, every commitment you honor, every time you show up on time or follow through, it builds invisible wealth. People remember reliability. They refer trust. If your word is strong, your network becomes unbreakable. But break integrity once, and the compound interest of trust collapses overnight. So, when you say you'll deliver, deliver. When you can't, communicate early. In a world full of noise and broken promises, consistency becomes your brand. Integrity turns connections into alliances. 9. Mentorship, the shortcut to mastery. You can learn by experience, or by exposure. Experience costs time. Exposure accelerates it. A mentor collapses your learning curve. They show you where the traps are before you step in them. They reveal shortcuts, habits, and strategies that took them years to learn. The wealthy don't just look for mentors, they earn them. They show up prepared, execute advice fast, and respect their mentor's time. The fastest way to attract mentorship is to be teachable and implement quickly. Nothing earns a mentor's respect like results. When you grow under guidance, you multiply your trajectory. 10. Relationships that outlast money. Finally, remember this: the ultimate wealth isn't in your bank account, it's in your relationships. Money can vanish, markets can crash, but strong relationships remain assets that rebuild everything. The people who truly succeed in life measure wealth in connection, not possessions. They invest time in family, gratitude, and meaningful bonds, because the goal isn't just to get rich, it's to be supported, trusted, and remembered. A true wealth network isn't built overnight. It's built over time, through character, service, and shared vision. When you nurture people, you nurture prosperity. So build wisely, serve first, communicate clearly, keep your circle small, strong, and growing. Because wealth travels through people, and when your network thrives, your fortune inevitably follows. Chapter 5. Financial Discipline. The bridge between earning and keeping money is a mirror. It doesn't reveal who you wish to be. It exposes who you already are. And no matter how much you earn, without discipline, it will always escape through the cracks of poor habits. This is the brutal truth most people avoid. It's not your income that makes you wealthy. It's your ability to manage, multiply, and master it. Financial discipline is the bridge between earning and keeping, between potential and prosperity, between dreaming and doing. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. But it's the foundation every millionaire quietly stands on. Let's dive deep into how to build that bridge. One mindset, one system, and one habit at a time. 1. Respect the money you already have. If you can't manage 10,000 shillings, you won't manage 10 million. Money magnifies habits. It doesn't change them. It amplifies them. So if you're careless with a little, you'll be reckless with a lot. The wealthy understand that stewardship comes before success. Start by mastering what's already in your hands. Track every coin. Know where your money goes, not where you think it goes. Awareness is the first stage of financial power. Discipline begins with respect, and respect begins with attention. 2. Create a purpose for every shilling. Money without purpose leads to chaos. Purpose directs your spending, controls your impulses, and gives meaning to your effort. Every shilling you earn should have an assignment. When money doesn't have a direction, it drifts away, quietly, consistently, and completely. Give every coin a job before it enters your pocket. Plan your income before it arrives. That's how the wealthy think. They don't react to money, they command it. Build a structure, for instance, 50% for essentials, 20% for investment and savings, 20% for growth. Education, skill, tools, 10% for giving. The ratios can vary. What matters is intentionality. When you assign money, you control it. When you ignore it, it controls you. 3. Master the art of delayed gratification. Every millionaire you'll ever meet has mastered one thing: the ability to wait. They understand that discipline today funds freedom tomorrow. Poor minds chase instant pleasure. Wealthy minds invest in future satisfaction. Ask yourself before every purchase: will this matter 6 months from now? If the answer is no, you're probably feeding emotion, not strategy. The habit of saying "not now" to your impulses builds financial muscle. You don't need to deny yourself joy, but you must learn to earn it before you spend it. When you control your desires, your money starts serving your destiny instead of your ego. 4. Track, measure, adjust. What you don't measure, you can't master. Tracking your expenses is like checking your financial heartbeat. It shows whether your system is healthy or bleeding. Every week, review where your money went. Every month, evaluate your progress. Ask yourself, where did I overspend? What expenses brought no return? What can I automate or eliminate? These simple reflections can save you years of financial regret. Money doesn't disappear. It's always hiding somewhere in your habits. Your job is to find it, redirect it, and make it work for you. 5. Build a financial buffer before you need it. Emergencies aren't rare, they're inevitable. And if you don't prepare for them, they'll always feel like crises. Your first wealth goal shouldn't be a luxury car or designer lifestyle. It should be security, an emergency fund that gives you peace of mind. Start small, save enough to cover 1 month's expenses, then 3, then 6. This buffer becomes your freedom fund. It protects you from desperation, bad deals, and impulsive choices. Without a buffer, you're forced to trade dignity for survival. With one, you buy yourself options. And options are the true currency of wealth. 6. Understand the difference between assets and liabilities. This single distinction can change your financial life forever. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. It's that simple, and yet most people get it wrong. They call liabilities rewards. They think cars, clothes, and gadgets are signs of success. In truth, those are signs of spending. The wealthy don't chase shiny objects. They build assets that shine by themselves. Investments, businesses, intellectual property, or real estate. So before you buy anything, ask, will this pay me back? If it doesn't, it's a liability, even if it feels good. True status is when your assets buy your luxuries, not your salary. 7. Automate wealth-building habits. Discipline shouldn't rely on willpower. It should rely on systems. The less you depend on emotion, the more consistent you become. Set automatic transfers to your savings and investment accounts the moment your income arrives. If you wait to save what's left, you'll never save at all. Automation forces you to live below your means while building above them. The wealthy don't save what's left after spending. They spend what's left after saving. This single reversal changes everything. 8. Audit your financial influences. Your habits come from somewhere, often from the people you watch or listen to. If your circle normalizes debt, spending, and flex culture, you'll subconsciously copy it. But if you expose yourself to investors, builders, and wealth thinkers, your brain starts to mirror discipline. Watch what you consume, financially, mentally, and emotionally. Social media will sell you an illusion of success. The world flexes what it buys. The wealthy flex what they build. Change your environment and your habits will follow. 9. Debt. The silent wealth killer. Debt isn't always evil, but it's dangerous when it becomes normal. Use it strategically, never emotionally. Good debt builds value like a business or asset. Bad debt builds vanity, like luxury you can't afford. The rule is simple: if it doesn't produce income or increase your capability, It's not worth the interest. Every time you borrow for pleasure, you mortgage your peace. Every time you borrow for purpose, you accelerate your growth. Learn to know the difference and use debt as a tool, not a trap. 10. Track net worth, not income. Income looks impressive. Net worth tells the truth. You can earn millions and still be broke if you spend it all. Net worth is your real score, what you own minus what you owe. Make it your goal to see that number rise every year, even slightly. Track your progress like a business does. You are your first enterprise. Your financial reports are your reality checks. Don't fear them. Use them as maps to navigate toward financial independence. 11. Invest in what you understand. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is chasing hot opportunities. They jump into crypto, stocks or real estate they barely understand, hoping to get rich overnight. That's gambling, not investing. Wealthy people invest in what they understand. They study it, live it, breathe it. If you can't explain an investment to a 10-year-old, you shouldn't put your money there. The rule is timeless: clarity before commitment. Because financial ignorance is more expensive than any market crash. 12. Build wealth from habits, not hype. The richest people you know probably don't look rich. They live quietly, buy intentionally, and think long-term. They don't chase trends. They build systems. They don't compete. They calculate. They don't show off. They scale. Wealth built on hype fades when attention shifts. Wealth built on habits grows whether people are watching or not. Discipline is invisible at first, then it becomes unstoppable. 13. Gratitude and generosity. The final layer. The final discipline is emotional. Gratitude and giving. When you're thankful for what you have, you signal to life that you can handle more. And when you give, you create space for abundance to circulate. Wealth flows through open hands. Greed clogs it. Gratitude expands it. Give intentionally, not to impress but to impact. Because wealth isn't just about accumulation, it's about contribution. 14. The formula for financial freedom. Here's the truth. Distilled discipline, quads time quads consistency, freedom. Not hustle, not luck, not trends. Just patience, precision and purpose repeated daily. Financial discipline is your quiet superpower. While others chase shortcuts, you're building a foundation that lasts. One day, when others are asking, "How did you do it?" you'll smile, because you didn't just make money, you mastered it. Chapter 6. The Psychology of Risk and Reward. Thinking like an investor. Most people don't fail in wealth because they lack opportunity. They fail because they misjudge risk. They either fear it too much and do nothing, or underestimate it and lose everything. But those who master the psychology of risk and reward, those who learn to think like investors, eventually play a different game entirely, because wealth at its core isn't built by avoiding risk. It's built by understanding it. 1. The emotional trap of safety. Let's be honest, comfort is seductive. It whispers, "Stay here." It's predictable. It's safe. And yet, safety is the silent killer of dreams. Every breakthrough in history, from business to science to art, came from someone who decided that safety was too small for their potential. But here's the trick. They didn't jump blindly. They learned how to calculate the jump. The wealthy don't gamble. They assess. They study. They reduce uncertainty through knowledge. That's the investor's mindset. Not avoiding fear, but converting fear into focus. Fear says, "What if I lose?" The investor asks, "What can I learn if I do?" That's how they win even when they fail. 2. Risk is a skill, not a feeling. The average person sees risk as emotional, something to avoid when it feels scary. The investor sees risk as mathematical, something to measure and manage. You don't remove risk, you transfer it, price it, or leverage it. That's why two people can look at the same opportunity and see opposite realities. One sees danger, the other sees potential. What changed? Perspective. Train your mind to view risk as information, not intimidation. Ask yourself, what's the worst-case scenario, realistically? What would it take to recover from it? What's the potential upside if it succeeds? Once you define the parameters, the fear shrinks. Uncertainty only feels overwhelming when it's undefined. The moment you name the risk, you start to own it. That's when power shifts from emotion to strategy. 3. Reward is a reflection of responsibility. Every return carries responsibility. The higher the reward, the heavier the responsibility that comes with it. That's why many people self-sabotage after small wins. They're not psychologically prepared to handle success. They crave reward, but reject responsibility. The investor's mind works differently. They know that reward and responsibility are twins, inseparable. If you want to multiply wealth, you must first multiply maturity. Ask yourself, can I manage what I'm asking for? Because wealth doesn't just test your skills, it tests your stability. 4. The illusion of loss is emotional, but it's also educational. Most people panic at the sight of loss because they never learned how to separate price from value. When the market dips, the beginner says, I've lost money. The investor says, my value is temporarily discounted. That's perspective. Loss only becomes real when you quit. As long as you learn, adjust and persist, every loss is tuition, not tragedy. Think of every mistake as a fee you pay to stay in the game, because the ones who win aren't those who never lose, they're the ones who refuse to stop playing. 5. Information is the ultimate risk reducer. Ignorance is expensive. In any market, the least informed pay the highest price. Investors don't fear risk because they understand that information turns danger into opportunity. The more you know about markets, timing, people and systems, the less luck you need. Study before you spend, read before you risk, observe before you act. The world rewards those who are patient enough to learn and disciplined enough to execute. Every hour spent learning is an hour that saves you from losing. That's why the wealthy call education their best investment. It compounds in silence, but pays in every season. 6. Diversify intelligently, not emotionally. Diversification is wisdom, but only when done with purpose. Some people scatter their energy and money everywhere, hoping one thing works. That's not diversification, that's desperation. The investor spreads intelligently. They build core streams before chasing side ones. They understand that focus creates strength, and strength creates expansion. Start small, master one stream, then multiply. Because depth brings stability, and stability funds growth. The wealthy aren't everywhere, they're precise. Their money doesn't wander, it works with direction. 7. The courage to decide. Risk always demands a decision, and indecision is often the costliest choice of all. When you hesitate too long, opportunities decay. While you overthink, someone else executes. The investor doesn't wait for certainty, they wait for clarity. Certainty is an illusion, clarity is enough. If the numbers make sense, the risk is acceptable, and the direction aligns, pull the trigger. The market rewards movement, not meditation. Remember, hesitation is more expensive than failure. Failure teaches you something, hesitation teaches you nothing. 8. Emotional control. The investor's true advantage. Markets rise and fall, businesses win and lose. But the biggest variable in wealth isn't the market, it's you. Emotional control is your secret weapon. You can't control outcomes, but you can control reactions. When everyone panics, the disciplined buy. When everyone rushes in greed, the disciplined wait. The investor knows emotion kills logic, so they train themselves to feel fear without obeying it, to stay calm when chaos spikes. The goal isn't to remove emotion, it's to manage it like capital. wisely, selectively, strategically. 9. The long game, patience, pays the highest dividends. The wealthy don't think in months, they think in decades. They don't chase the next hype, they build the next habit. Every investment, every system, every skill compounds with time, and patience is the fertilizer that makes it grow. The poor look for shortcuts, the rich look for cycles. They understand that wealth is rarely instant, but always possible. Think long-term. Let compounding do the heavy lifting, because time isn't your enemy, it's your multiplier. 10. The final mindset shift. At some point, risk stops feeling like danger and starts feeling like data. You begin to see patterns, to trust your judgment, to act from conviction instead of fear. That's when you've truly become an investor, not just in money but in life. You no longer play for quick wins, you play for freedom. Remember, this: risk is the price you pay for opportunity. Discipline is the tool that minimizes it. Wisdom is the reward that multiplies it. Every great fortune began with a decision someone was afraid to make. The difference between those who wish and those who win is simple: the courage to think and then act like an investor. Chapter 7. Income Streams and Systems, Turning Effort into Automatic Growth. From the Wealth Blueprint, Build Fortune from Nothing, by Imperium Audiobooks. Wealth isn't just about earning. It's about creating engines that keep earning even when you don't. It's about shifting from working for money to making money work for you. This chapter isn't about fantasy. It's not about waking up rich. It's about understanding that every rich person you admire didn't just build income, they built systems. Because income gives you comfort, but systems give you freedom. Let's break this down step by step: how to create income streams that outlive your effort, and how to build systems that multiply themselves. 1. The difference between income and freedom. Most people chase higher paychecks, not realizing that paychecks are ceilings, not doors. The more you earn from one source, the more you depend on it. And dependency, no matter how well paid, is still a form of captivity. Freedom starts when you build independence from a single stream. Ask yourself this question: if my main income stopped today, how long could I sustain my lifestyle? That answer reveals your real level of freedom. The wealthy understand this. That's why they don't just earn. They engineer cash flow. They create systems that feed them while they sleep, travel, or think. It's not about hustling harder. It's about building smarter. 2. Build streams in layers, not leaps. Everyone wants multiple streams of income, but few are willing to master even one. The truth is, multiple weak streams only flood you with stress. You need depth before width. Start with your primary stream, something that uses your strongest skill or solves a real problem. Perfect it until it produces consistent profit. Then use that profit to fund the next stream. That's how real wealth grows, layer by layer, not leap by leap. Look at it this way: your first stream is the seed, your second is the branch, your third is the tree that shades you. Each new stream should come from the overflow of the last, not from exhaustion. 3. The 4 categories of income. Every wealth builder eventually learns to balance these 4 forms of income. Active income, what you earn by trading time for money, your job, freelancing, consulting. Semi-passive income, earnings that need setup but minimal maintenance, online courses, digital products, licensing. Passive income, returns from investments, rentals or automated businesses. Portfolio income, dividends, interest, royalties, money that your money earns. The goal isn't to eliminate active income, it's to use it wisely. Your active income funds your systems. It's the fuel for future freedom. Most people spend it, the wealthy deploy it. 4. Create systems, not jobs. Here's a truth that separates the rich from the overwhelmed. If your business can't run without you, it's not a system, it's a job with extra steps. A system is a process that repeats without direct input. It's predictable, measurable, and automatable. Whether you're selling products, running a service, or creating digital content, your mission is to remove friction, document what you do, automate what you can, delegate what you must. The more your system works without your constant supervision, the more wealth it can scale. You don't get rich by adding effort. You get rich by reducing dependency. 5. The compound effect of consistency. Every stream, no matter how small, can compound if you're consistent. The first sale feels tiny. The 10th feels promising. The 100th feels inevitable. Compounding is slow at first, painfully slow, but once it catches momentum, it becomes unstoppable. The poor get discouraged by small beginnings. The wealthy celebrate them because they understand the principle of seed time. If you plant and water consistently, the harvest will always come. The system might take months or years, but every repetition compounds silently in your favor. 6. Automation. The silent business partner. Technology is your most loyal employee. It never sleeps, never complains, and never asks for a raise. The difference between modern entrepreneurs and traditional hustlers is automation. Use tools that handle the repetitive work: marketing, invoicing, scheduling, communication. Every task that repeats should eventually run on autopilot. Automation doesn't replace effort, it multiplies it. It frees your energy from daily grind, so you can focus on strategy and scaling. Ask yourself weekly, what can I automate this month? That's how small operations become scalable enterprises. 7. Systems are built on people. Every sustainable system has one thing in common: people. You can't scale wealth without building a network of competence. Hire or collaborate with people who are better than you in specific areas. Outsource what drains you. Focus on your zone of genius. Wealth builders don't try to be everything. They build teams that turn effort into expansion, because 1 hour of work from 10 skilled people beats 10 hours of solo hustle. The moment you stop working in your system and start working on it, you enter the realm of exponential growth. 8. The energy flow. Audit. Here's a quick exercise. List every income stream or project you're part of. Then ask, does this energize me or drain me? Is this scalable or stagnant? Does this align with my long-term freedom plan? You'll quickly see which ones are systems and which ones are traps. Cut what doesn't scale, improve what does. Energy management is wealth management. If your system steals your peace, it's not success. It's a setup for burnout. Build streams that energize your mind and stabilize your future. 9. When to reinvent. When to double down. At some point, every system reaches its ceiling. That's when most people panic and jump to something new. But the wealthy pause and analyze. Ask yourself, can this system grow through innovation? Is it time to optimize or diversify? Are results plateauing because of me or the model? Sometimes reinvention means rebranding or improving your offer. Sometimes it means pivoting to a new model entirely. But never switch directions out of boredom. Switch out of strategy. Momentum only matters if it's moving you the right way. 10. Freedom through flow. The true goal isn't passive income, it's predictable flow. When your systems align and feed one another, money becomes rhythm, not chaos. Imagine this: your main business funds your investments pay for your lifestyle creates space to think and create, which feeds your main business again. That's financial harmony. That's the blueprint of lasting wealth. You no longer chase money, it cycles through you because you've built the pipes for it to flow. 11. The invisible system. Habits. All systems begin with the smallest one: your habits. You can't build external order from internal chaos. Your routines determine your results. Your schedule predicts your success. Your mindset powers your mechanics. Set fixed times to review finances, study markets, and update systems. Small daily habits create massive yearly outcomes. The more disciplined your habits, the smoother your systems run, and the freer you become. 12. Legacy systems. Building for others. The ultimate level of wealth isn't when your systems sustain you, but when they sustain others.
when your business feeds families, when your investments build opportunities, when your structure becomes a source of stability beyond yourself. That's legacy, wealth that lives longer than effort. So think generationally. Build systems that can operate when you're gone. Teach others how to sustain and expand them, because the real blueprint for fortune isn't about getting rich. It's about staying rich, multiplying value, and empowering others to do the same. Final thought: don't just work for money. Don't just build income. Design systems, because wealth doesn't belong to the busiest. It belongs to the builders. And once you create a flow that works without you, you've already crossed from survival to freedom. That's not theory. That's the wealth blueprint.
Chapter 8. The Energy of Money. How to Attract, Circulate, and Expand Wealth from the Wealth Blueprint. Build Fortune from Nothing. By Imperium Audiobooks. Money is not just currency. It's energy. It responds to the flow of your mindset, your actions, and your environment. It comes to those who respect its rhythm and leaves those who suffocate it. You don't chase money. You attract it by becoming the kind of person money trusts to stay with. This chapter is about transforming your relationship with money, from scarcity and stress to clarity, circulation, and growth. 1. The energy law of wealth. Everything you touch carries energy, including your thoughts about money. If your thoughts toward money are anxious, fearful, or resentful, that energy blocks the flow. People who constantly say, "I never have enough," "I'm always broke," "I can't afford it," are unknowingly programming their mind to repel opportunities. Energy follows belief. You cannot attract what you emotionally push away. To change your financial reality, you must first neutralize your money emotions. Stop making money the enemy. See it as a neutral tool, a servant, not a master, a mirror that reflects how you manage value, not how much you deserve. 2. Money flows toward purpose. Money doesn't chase people, it chases purpose. When you solve a meaningful problem, serve people effectively, or create transformation, money naturally circulates to you. This is why some people seem lucky, but luck is simply alignment with purpose and value. Ask yourself, what am I doing that genuinely helps others live better, save time, or solve pain? The clearer your purpose, the stronger your magnetic field for wealth. Purpose gives money a reason to stay. Without purpose, even large sums vanish, because there's no foundation to hold them. 3. Circulation over hoarding. Most people try to hold on to money, and that's exactly why it slips away. Money, like water, becomes stagnant when it stops flowing. Saving is wise. Hoarding is fear-based. You must learn the art of intentional circulation. When you invest wisely, give strategically, and spend consciously, you signal to life that you trust the flow. That trust expands the flow. It's not about reckless spending. It's about confident allocation. Every shilling, dollar, or coin should have a purpose and a path. Remember, you are not meant to be a dam. You are meant to be a channel. The more freely money flows through you, the more abundantly it returns to you. 4. The frequency of gratitude. Gratitude is wealth's amplifier. Nothing multiplies like appreciation. When you genuinely appreciate what you have, no matter how small, you raise your energetic frequency to attract more of it. Gratitude shifts you from lack to abundance, from worry to awareness. Each time money comes in, big or small, pause, smile, and say thank you. More of this, please. That tiny ritual changes your vibration, and over time your outer reality mirrors that inner shift. 5. Detachment. The secret of continuous flow. Here's a paradox. The more desperately you want money, the more it hides from you. Desperation creates resistance. It signals scarcity. It tells life, "I don't have enough," and life responds, "As you wish." Wealthy people are detached. They appreciate money, but don't obsess over it. Their self-worth isn't tied to their net worth. They understand that money is a byproduct of alignment, not validation. Practice this mindset. I love money,
but I'm not ruled by it. That's balance, and balance keeps you in flow. 6. Money mirrors identity. You'll never earn permanently beyond what your identity can handle. If deep down you believe, I'm not good with money, or I don't deserve wealth, your subconscious will sabotage every gain to maintain consistency with your belief. Money doesn't just test your discipline, it tests your identity ceiling. Upgrade your identity, and your income naturally expands. Affirm daily, I'm capable of managing large amounts responsibly. I create value that attracts wealth. I am safe with abundance. You don't attract wealth by wanting, you attract it by becoming. 7. Give to grow. One of the highest principles of wealth is giving, not out of guilt or pressure, but out of power. When you give from abundance, you reinforce the belief that you have more than enough. You activate flow. It's not about the amount, it's about the energy behind it. Give value, time, kindness, money, anything that multiplies life. That act creates energetic circulation, and that circulation always returns, multiplied. The hands that give are the same hands that receive. 8. The money environment. Your environment reflects your wealth vibration. Cluttered desk, disorganized finances, overdue bills, all send signals of chaos and resistance. Order your financial environment. Track your income and expenses weekly. Label your accounts by purpose, growth, savings, investments, generosity. The clearer your system, the calmer your energy. The calmer your energy, the more freely money flows toward you. 9. The law of expansion. Money expands to the limit of your capacity to manage it. If you can't manage $100 wisely, you won't manage $10,000. If you can't lead a small project well, you won't sustain a big one. Wealth always tests stewardship before scale. To increase your income, first increase your capacity. That means improving your systems, learning new skills, strengthening your mindset. Expansion happens when you grow faster than your problems. 10. The invisible gatekeepers of wealth. 3 emotions silently block wealth. Guilt. I don't deserve this. Shame. People will judge me if I have more. Fear. What if I lose it? These emotions create invisible walls around abundance. You must dismantle them consciously. Replace guilt with gratitude. Replace shame with service. Replace fear with faith. That shift reopens the flow, and you begin to experience money as what it truly is, a reflection of energy, not morality. 11. The wealth circuit. Earn, retain, multiply, circulate. Here's the formula. Wealthy people unconsciously follow earn, exchange value for money, retain, keep a portion through discipline, multiply, invest what you retain, circulate, give, spend, or reinvest consciously to keep the flow alive. When one part of this circuit breaks, either through oversaving, overspending, or underinvesting, the system clogs. Keep all 4 in motion. That's how you create living wealth. 12. The master mindset. At the highest level, wealth creation becomes spiritual. It's about alignment, not accumulation. Peace, not pressure. You begin to see money as a mirror, reflecting how open or closed your heart is toward growth, trust and giving. The ultimate wealth isn't in your bank balance, it's in your energy balance. And when your inner world is rich, your outer world always catches up. Final thought. Money is a language, and energy is its accent. Learn to speak it fluently. Move with flow, not fear. Earn with integrity. Spend with clarity. Invest with wisdom, and give with grace. Do that consistently, and wealth will no longer be something you chase. It'll be something that chases you, because the truest blueprint for fortune is alignment.
Chapter 9. The art of positioning, standing out in any crowd and becoming irreplaceable from the wealth blueprint. Build fortune from nothing by Imperium Audiobooks. In the marketplace of noise, most people compete. A few position, and the ones who master positioning don't just survive, they dominate. Positioning isn't about being the loudest. It's about being the clearest, the most trusted, and the most valuable. You can have incredible talent, a brilliant product, or unmatched work ethic. But if people don't know why you matter, you'll always be invisible. This chapter is about fixing that. It's about understanding how to design your presence, your reputation, and your personal brand so powerfully that people can't ignore you even if they wanted to. 1. Positioning starts in the mind. Before the world sees you as valuable, you must. If you see yourself as replaceable, underqualified, or secondary, the world reflects that energy right back at you. The first rule of positioning is self-definition. You must decide, who am I in this space? What do I stand for? What is the transformation people associate with my name or my work? People don't buy products. They buy clarity. And clarity starts with identity. Positioning begins the moment you stop blending in and start standing for something specific. 2. The power of perceived value in every industry. Perception builds pricing. It's not always the best who get paid the most. It's the best positioned. That's why two people can do the same job, but one earns 10x more. The difference isn't always skill. It's perceived value. Perceived value is built through consistency, language, and confidence. It's how you show up, speak, and package your ideas. If you present yourself as a premium solution, people will pay premium attention. If you present yourself as average, you'll be treated accordingly. Remember this, the world pays you in proportion to how clearly you communicate your worth. 3. Become the category, not the competitor. The wealthiest people don't compete, they create new categories. They shift from being one of many to being the only one. Apple didn't sell computers, they sold a new way of thinking. Tesla didn't sell cars, the Straub sell cars. They sold a revolution in energy and design. You don't have to be a billion-dollar brand to do the same thing. Ask yourself, what unique combination of experiences, ideas, and personality do I bring that no one else does? Then amplify that. That's how you own your lane. People don't remember generalists. They remember specialists who stand for something crystal clear. 4. Story is the strategy. The most powerful brands, personal or corporate, all have one thing in common: a story that moves people. Facts tell, stories sell. Your story is your positioning tool. It tells people not just what you do, but why you do it. Tell the story of your struggle, your breakthrough, your lesson. People buy into emotion before they buy into logic. In a world of copycats, your story is your signature. Own it. 5. Consistency creates authority. Authority doesn't appear overnight. It's built through repetition with excellence. Every post, product, conversation, and collaboration is a brick. Stack them intentionally. People trust what they see repeatedly done well. When you keep showing up with clarity, discipline, and consistency, you become inevitable. Authority is simply proof, demonstrated over time, that you deliver value, no matter what. 6. The visual edge in the digital age. Visuals are credibility. People decide your value before they even hear your voice. Your presentation, your image, tone, brand colors, thumbnails, website, cover design, all tell a story. Ask yourself, if my brand were a person walking into a room, what energy would it carry? Would it whisper insecurity or project confidence? Would it feel chaotic or composed? Every visual either strengthens or weakens your positioning. Make your visuals speak before you do. 7. Strategic association. Positioning is amplified by proximity. The people you collaborate with, learn from, and are seen beside, they all frame how others perceive you. When you position yourself near excellence, people assume you belong to it. That's why networking isn't just about connection. It's about strategic exposure. Appear on the right platforms. Serve in the right spaces. Be visible where the right eyes are watching. Your network is the mirror that reflects your positioning to the world. 8. The irreplaceability factor. The goal isn't to be liked, it's to be irreplaceable. When you become irreplaceable, competition dissolves. Irreplaceability happens when you solve problems in ways no one else can. You combine skills that rarely exist together. You deliver results faster or smoother than others. The more unique your value stack, the harder it becomes for anyone to copy you. Never be afraid to specialize so deeply that imitation becomes impossible. 9. The courage to polarize. Positioning requires courage. You can't stand out if you're scared of standing alone. Every great brand repels some people, and that's okay. Rejection is proof of clarity. If everyone likes you, no one truly values you. When you draw a clear line in the sand about what you believe, who you serve, and what you won't tolerate, the right people find you faster. Positioning means choosing your audience and being unapologetic about it. 10. Legacy. Positioning. At the highest level, positioning becomes legacy. It's not just about money or fame. It's about impact and memory. What will your name mean when you're not in the room? What ripple will your work leave behind? Legacy positioning is when your influence outlives your presence. That's the ultimate level, when your ideas, systems, and character continue to generate wealth and transformation long after you've stepped away. So don't just build a business, build a body of work. Don't just make noise, make meaning. Final thought. In every crowd, there are thousands shouting to be seen, but only a few are remembered, because they understand one thing. You don't rise by being everywhere. You rise by being distinct, disciplined, and deliberate. Your job is not to compete in a crowded market. It's to build a market around your name. Be the only one who does what you do, how you do it. And soon enough, you won't be chasing attention. Attention will be chasing you. Chapter 10. The Long Game. Building Generational Wealth and Lasting Freedom from the Wealth Blueprint. Build Fortune from Nothing by Imperium Audiobooks. Everyone wants freedom. Few want the patience and discipline that create it. Wealth built fast rarely lasts. Wealth built right echoes for generations. This chapter is not about short wins or flashy results. It's about the strategy that builds unbreakable financial foundations. It's about creating a legacy so strong that your name continues to open doors long after you've stepped away. Because the real question isn't how much you make today, it's how much of what you build still stands tomorrow. 1. The philosophy of the long game. Short-term thinkers chase money. Long-term builders chase systems. The short-term thinker asks, how can I make money fast? The long-term builder asks, how can I create value that compounds? Compounding is not just about money, it's about habits, decisions, and reputation. Every small disciplined action today becomes exponential growth tomorrow. The long game begins when you stop trading time for money and start building assets that earn even when you sleep. Freedom isn't luck, it's engineered through patience, clarity, and compounding over time. 2. Build assets, not just income. Most people focus on income, not assets. Income pays the bills, assets pay your future. An asset is anything that continues to produce value or income without your direct effort. It could be a business, a property, a brand, an audience, a patent, or even a system that works without you. When you spend years building assets, you transition from working for money to money working for you. Ask yourself, what am I building today that will still reward me 10 years from now? If your answer is nothing, that's where your work begins. 3. Think in decades, not days. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10. The long game rewards those who can delay gratification. The first years of building wealth feel slow, sometimes painfully so. But once momentum catches, results multiply. Don't confuse movement with progress. Progress is silent. It's what happens when you keep planting seeds even when no one's clapping. Play the decade game, not the dopamine game. 4. Legacy over lifestyle. Luxury is temporary. Legacy is eternal. Many people build lifestyles that look rich, but drain them of real freedom. Big houses, flashy cars, endless consumption. Real wealth isn't about showing it. It's about sustaining it. If your income grows but your expenses grow faster, you're not getting richer, you're just getting busier. Live below your means while you build beyond your limits. Because wealth that lasts requires discipline that outlives emotion. 5. The power of family wealth. Generational wealth is not about handing over money. It's about handing over wisdom, systems and mindset. If you pass down cash without character, it disappears. If you pass down systems and discipline, it multiplies. Teach the next generation not just what you earned, but how you earned it. Show them the principles behind your prosperity. Patience over impulse, strategy over reaction, contribution over consumption. Family wealth is built when one generation plants trees under whose shade they'll never sit. 6. Build a name, not just a number. A number fades. A name endures. Your reputation is your invisible currency. It compounds even faster than money. People remember how you made them feel, how you kept your word, and how you showed up when it mattered. Build a name that represents excellence, fairness, and value. That name becomes the key your children use to open doors you never could. That's how empires are built, not on inheritance but on integrity. 7. The freedom formula. Freedom is not the absence of work. It's the presence of choice. To reach it you need 3 pillars. Time freedom, the ability to decide how you spend your hours. Financial freedom, the ability to sustain your life without trading time. Mind freedom, the ability to think clearly, without fear or scarcity. If any of these are missing, freedom is incomplete. True wealth is when your money serves your mission, not your anxiety. 8. Systems outlast strength. Hustle builds the first version of wealth. Systems sustain it. Systems are habits, automations, routines, and principles that make wealth inevitable. Create systems for saving, investing, and reinvesting. Automate decisions where possible. Remove emotion from money management. Rely on logic and pattern, not impulse. Because in the long game, emotions are expensive. Discipline is what turns ambition into inheritance. 9. The legacy compass. To stay on track, revisit this compass every year. Purpose. Why am I building this? Principles. What values define my decisions? People. Who am I doing it with? And 4. Plan. What structures ensure continuity? If your purpose weakens, your plan crumbles. If your principles shift, your foundation shakes. The long game is not about perfection, it's about alignment. 10. The infinite return. The ultimate return of wealth is not in numbers, it's in impact. How many lives did you uplift? How many doors did you open? How many people became freer because of what you built? At the end of your journey, no one remembers your bank balance. They remember the energy you carried, the people you helped, and the ideas you left behind. When you live by the long game, wealth stops being about accumulation and starts being about continuation, and starts being about continuation. Final thought. The long game is not glamorous, but it's glorious. It's built on patience, purpose, and unshakable vision. It's the quiet path that outlasts every trend, crash, and distraction. Play the long game, and you'll stop worrying about the next season, because you're building something that will stand for generations. And when you finally look back, years from now, you'll realize the fortune you built wasn't just in money, it was in freedom, impact, and legacy.